Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope this afternoon will be a beacon of sunshine and optimism on a very dark and rainy day. I want to say a very warm welcome to President Chilton, members of her cabinet, UNH colleagues, especially our deans and students, and a special welcome as well to members of our Sustainability Advisory Board, as well as alumni from across the decades and some of our community partners as well. We're so happy that you are here today. I'm Fiona Wilson. I'm UNH's Chief Sustainability Officer and Executive Director of our Sustainability Institute. And I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to our 4th annual UNH Sustainability Awards. Designed to celebrate and spotlight individuals and teams doing important sustainability work in the areas of research, curriculum development and teaching, campus initiatives, and external engagement, this program helps raise the visibility of these activities and achievements to really help build a deep culture of sustainability that can permeate all facets of our institution, our community, and how we work together. Today, we're going to be honoring some of the very many individuals and groups that make UNH's sustainability excellence a reality. Over 50 faculty, staff, and students, as well as some alumni from colleges and units all across campus, who help make the university a proud national leader in sustainability in higher education. Our work at UNH is grounded in the framework of the United Nations and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We sometimes refer to them as the SDGs. And we embrace the SDGs because they really articulate clear science-based targets on the full breadth of dimensions of what will ensure a sustainable and resilient future. And it really also emphasizes the interconnectedness of these issues. But at the end of the day, when we strip away all of the jargon, sustainability is about how we create robust and fair economies in which all people can thrive, not just survive. It's about healthy ecosystems and healthy people who have access to clean water and clean air and affordable and nutritious food. It's about resilient infrastructure in our towns and our cities, about decent and affordable housing and cohesive communities. At the end of the day, it's really about creating a world that we all want to live in, today and for generations to come. And you certainly don't need me to remind you about the unique urgency of the moment. Without near-term and long-term efforts to address the climate crisis, growing inequality, and many other issues, the future is likely to be unrecognizable. It's a daunting moment, but I'm honored to be UNH's Chief Sustainability Officer at this pivotal moment. These are profound challenges facing UNH, higher education, as well as our planet and our people. Yet I couldn't be more committed to this next chapter in the history of sustainability at UNH. I really believe that universities, especially public universities like UNH, have both an obligation as well as a significant opportunity to be a driver of solutions. I remain optimistic about the future and the progress that we can achieve together, precisely because of all of you, the colleagues and the students and the alumni that I work with every day across UNH. We're innovating together on big issues, as well as doing things both large and small, day in, day out, that are advancing a sustainable future. As I said, we're going to be recognizing a number of staff and faculty and students today, as well as some alumni. Before we get started with our 2025 awards, I want to do something that we wanted to do in 2020, but we weren't able to do because of the COVID pandemic. And that is to honor one of UNH's wonderful alums, Anne Finucane, class of 1974. We're so happy that Anne was able to be with us on campus today. That's class of 2020, I don't know, 2030. So happy that Anne could be on campus with us today. She was speaking a little bit earlier in the Granite State Room to an audience of about 700 amazing students who asked her lots of really interesting questions. Anne, we're so happy that you could be back on campus, finally. There's no question that Anne has been one of the most influential forces over her career in accelerating the world's financial markets to really support that sustainable future that we all care about. During her impressive and impactful career, Anne has consistently been highlighted in the world's most powerful women lists in places like Forbes and Fortune, and with good reason. She was the first female vice chair of Bank of America and chair of Bank of America Europe until retiring in 2022. Recognized globally as a pioneer in climate finance, she now serves as senior advisor to TPG Rise Climate Fund and as chair of their carbon credit company, Rubicon Carbon. While at Bank of America, Anne established and co-chaired the bank's $1 trillion climate finance initiative. And she also led many other efforts for the bank, including global public policy, the company's global charitable foundation, which during her tenure deployed more than $4 billion in philanthropic giving, and oversaw corporate strategy, marketing, data and analytics, and media for over 2 decades. Today, Anne serves as a board member or advisor to a number of leading organizations, including CVS Health, Williams-Sonoma, and the Special Olympics. And not surprisingly, she has won many awards, including the Carnegie Hall Medal of Excellence. But today we want to honor her for an award much closer to home, her undergraduate home. So as I said, in the fall of 2020, Anne was set to come to campus as we were honoring her with one of UNH's most prestigious awards, the Social Innovator of the Year. This award was given annually to recognize leaders with a demonstrated commitment to combining the purpose of a social and/or environmental mission with the rigor and accountability of a financially sustainable, scalable model for change. So as you heard from that very short summary of Anne's significant accomplishments, that award could not be more fitting for Anne. So Anne, please just join me on stage briefly. We would love just to congratulate you on being our 2020 Social Innovator of the Year, and thank you for all that you do for the world. Come on up.
Weightlifting.
All right. Congratulations again, Anne. All right. So before we meet this year's honorees in the Sustainability Awards, I'd like to just take a moment to thank those who took time to submit a nomination today, and also those colleagues who served on the awards selection committee, as well as my colleagues at the Sustainability Institute, and in particular, the amazing Elle Farrell. She's probably somewhere doing something. There she is, who really makes this event happen. Thank you, all of you. This work, serving on committees, nominating people, helping make this event possible, you help really deepen our culture of sustainability here at UNH through your involvement. In selecting this year's awardees, the review committees were guided by a set of criteria that are reflective of the complexity and the reality of sustainability challenges. Today, you're going to hear some inspiring stories of individuals and groups that stood out as best exemplifying the award criteria. As we honor and celebrate their commitment and the positive impact of their work, I encourage you to think about how your own work can continue to be part of this community of practice. This is not a moment to be on the sidelines. President Chilton's new strategic plan calls for bold action. And we need everyone to consider how we can help keep UNH's national excellence in sustainability and help drive the positive impact of UNH across the state, the region, and beyond. You're going to hear some music today as well, so I wanted just to make a quick note about the music you're hearing. The playlist was curated by somebody called Dr. Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson. She's the author of the New York Times best-selling book, What If We Get It Right? If you haven't read it, I highly encourage you to read it. It's definitely something that gives us all hope and optimism as we think about the future. We thought this playlist that she curated was absolutely perfect because, like us, she really believes that we need to take the work of sustainability seriously, but not ourselves too seriously. So this playlist is what Ayana calls anthems for victory, love songs to the earth, tunes for tenacity, as well as sexy implementation vibes. So I hope you'll hum along or even get your groove on as you hear some of the music this afternoon. It's now my absolute pleasure to hand over to my wonderful colleague, Dr. Catherine Peebles, Director of UNH's Honors College, who will get us started with the 2025 Sustainability Awards. Over to you, Catherine.
I'll try not to groove. So good afternoon, everybody. It's just lovely to be here. Thank you, Fiona, for making it possible. And my sincere thanks to the other members of the Faculty Award Committee for your service. Faculty awardees, the way this works, I'm going to ask you to please join us on stage as your name is called to receive your award, and please remain on the stage once you've gotten here, because afterwards we'll have a round of applause and a photo op as well. So audience, I'll ask you to hold your applause until everyone is up on stage, and that'll be a while, but it will be much longer a while if we all clapped between each person. So if you feel bad not clapping, just keep that in mind. You're doing everyone a favor. We will start with the category of emerging research. We all love to go to the theater, and there's no question that the performance arts have the power to build awareness and shift behaviors. But have you ever thought about the environmental impact of theater set designs? Professor Se-Fong Chen is building on her longtime research exploring the emotional power of materials, and is now evolving that into a commitment to sustainability in theater design that integrates environmental stewardship, social equity, and economic mindfulness into her creative process. Se-Fong, is she here? Se-Fong. Great. So right up to the stage, and we will not applaud, even though we do in our hearts and will at the end. The topic of hazardous waste and the impact on our region's ecosystems and human health have been in the news a great deal this past year. Dr. Glenn Miller and his research team are working to develop and demonstrate an exciting technology that could lower our nation's energy footprint while also reducing hazardous waste and promoting more sustainable manufacturing practices. When we consider how we create a sustainable and resilient future, we know that we have to look back as well as forward. Megan Howie developed and continues to direct the Great Bay Archaeological Survey, a community-engaged and interdisciplinary archaeology project that weaves together archaeological fieldwork, cutting-edge remote sensing technologies, archival research, strong collaboration with Indigenous knowledge keepers, and community members as team experts. Paula Mauser will join us here. You've likely heard about PFAS as a class of emerging contaminants. They're in the news daily. Long before they were on most radar screens, Dr. Paula Mauser's research was focused on these toxic substances known as forever chemicals. Over the past 7 years, she's been studying PFAS in wastewater, sludges, surface waters, sediments, precipitation, and surface water foams through collaboration with communities and state agencies. Good, we do have a growing cadre, excellent. Given the global political instability in the last few years, Dr. Jeannie Sauer's research couldn't be more relevant. While Dr. Sauers is unable to join us today, we're pleased to recognize her research over the past several years, in which she's focused on the impacts of conflict on both civilians and the environment where the conflict takes place. She helps create understanding of the ways in which humanitarian organizations, communities, and civil society provide basic services to alleviate human suffering while also addressing environmental damage despite periods of violence. Next, we'll move to awards for sustainability curriculum. And I'll start with the award for new curriculum. It's easy to be overwhelmed by the many intersecting crises facing humanity, especially the climate crisis. But this is a moment that calls for courageous and intentional action, and as an educational institution, UNH has an important role to play in educating future leaders, as we just saw earlier today. That's why the selection committee was very inspired by Dr. Carrie Dudley's new 4-credit, 500-level, 15-week course for UNH undergraduates called Psychology for Sustainability, designed to prepare students to be change makers in their communities while addressing their own personal well-being. We also have an award in the category of existing curriculum. Dr. Betty Woodman teaches Sustainability in Action, the second of 3 core courses in the Sustainability dual major. Under Professor Woodman's leadership, this course has evolved in significant ways to help students build a sense of belonging, leadership skills, learn approaches to strengthen communities, facilitate interdisciplinary collaboration, and apply critical thinking tools and brainstorm new solutions to challenges that matter to them. And now we move to the Faculty, Campus, and Community Engagement Awards. Making sure that all people, regardless of their background, have access to opportunities and information is an often overlooked aspect of sustainability. Elita Exline educates and advocates for practices that make scholarship available with minimal barriers to access, such as open access publishing and open educational resources. In a similar vein, the lack of access to digital infrastructure, particularly in rural areas, prevents individuals from having the same access to education or employment opportunities. For nearly 25 years, Charlie French has focused his career at UNH on advancing sustainable, resilient, and equitable community development, including leading UNH's engagement in the New Hampshire Digital Equity Planning Initiative. This important and impactful work connects residents statewide with access to high-speed internet, digital devices, training, and a host of services and resources made possible through digital technology. The significant environmental waste in the healthcare system has been well documented. Anybody who's ever stayed in a hospital thinks about all the things that are thrown away. And while it's always vital to put safety and efficacy at the forefront, the selection committee this year was inspired by the faculty of CHHS's Health Science Simulation Center, who are implementing zero waste initiatives, including glove recycling and an upcoming audit of reusable and recyclable materials. These efforts reduce waste and promote sustainable practices in healthcare education more broadly. We want to include a special recognition of Caitlin Lizette, former clinical assistant professor of nursing, for her special contributions to these efforts. Nice, okay. Finally, I'm honored to present a very recent Faculty Lifetime Achievement Award, a very special, I don't know where I got recent, very special Faculty Lifetime Achievement Award. Throughout his career, Dr. Chin-Fan Hsiao has conducted pioneering and internationally recognized research on the impacts of climate change on ecosystems and human society. Dr. Hsiao's groundbreaking work over his career has significantly advanced our understanding of climate change impacts, informed important climate mitigation efforts, and earned him exceptional distinction as one of the most cited scholars in his field worldwide, and as the recipient of the 2024 UNH Faculty Excellence in Research Award. Thank you, Dr. Hsiao, for your important contributions. Please join me in a huge round of applause to congratulate all of the faculty outstanding award recipients in 2025. And you guys need to stay, right here. Yeah, if you want to squeeze them. Are they going to need to be in 2 rows? Okay. And it's now my pleasure to hand over the mic to Jen Ray, Associate Director of Programs for the Sustainability Institute, to present the staff awards. Congratulations again, everybody, and thank you for being here. Awesome.
Good afternoon. All right, so it was my pleasure to serve as a member of the committee reviewing nominations for UNH's staff awards this year. And in a moment, you'll see the list of other committee members as well. Again, want to extend sincere thanks to the staff around UNH who reviewed these nominations, which we will now announce the 2025 UNH Sustainability Awards in the staff category. Again, awardees, please join me on stage as I read your name to receive your award, and then please remain on the stage for a group photo. And again, audience, please hold your applause to the end. All right, so I will begin with 4 staff awards for campus culture and operations. First, UNH's Career and Professional Successes High Impact Practices Unit, through the shared leadership and vision of Jenna Riley, Sam Pearson, and Casey Jones, is dedicated to the accessibility of impactful career-driven opportunities for students that have financial restrictions that limit their ability to participate in traditional opportunities. Such important work. And this includes the UNH Alternative Spring Break Challenge, which was redesigned last year to focus on marine conservation and community engagement. Next, up to 1 in 5 students at UNH are food insecure. Many do not have means to buy their own computer. At UNH, we're working hard to eliminate these barriers to students' ability to thrive and learn. As the Basic Needs Coordinator and Case Manager, Patty Matheson is the person who tirelessly provides vital intervention and coordination of services for students facing personal, medical, academic, or financial difficulties. This includes managing the UNH Food Pantry, Cat's Cupboard, the Student Emergency Financial Assistance Fund, the Swipe It Forward program, which allows students to donate unused dining dollars to students in need, the UNH Laptop Loaner program, and the in-between programs. Thank you, Patty, for all you do. We're so happy to recognize your work. Next, for nearly 100 years, the Child Study and Development Center at UNH has provided innovative teaching, learning, and research opportunities to the UNH community. Led by Executive Director Lisa Ranfos, the CSDC provides the children of employees and students with high-quality education that incorporates outdoor education and community gardening while providing a laboratory learning and research experience for UNH students who are studying in fields such as early childhood education, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. We're so grateful. Next, hold on. I know, really, for real. Okay, and then the UNH Sharp Center Prevention and Engagement Team, including Kate Gladstone, Caroline Young, and Erica Vaza, provide vital work on a daily basis that helps UNH meet its goals by being welcoming and safe for all students. They deliver comprehensive education, awareness raising, and campus engagement campaigns around the prevention of interpersonal violence on UNH's campus. This team reached over 11,000 people last academic year. Okay, so that was campus culture and operations. And now we have 4 staff winners in the campus and community engagement category as well. First, the Center for Impact Finance at the Kersey School of Public Policy is a national leader in advancing inclusive and equitable community finance. They've trained hundreds of community lenders in clean energy finance, supported policy advocacy to ensure climate programs reach low-income and disadvantaged communities, and facilitated the creation of the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund Support Collaborative. This work is more vital than ever to help local communities make the transition to resilient low-carbon economies. Next, Sarah Stinson has been a champion of sustainability at UNH for years through her leadership of UNH Libraries' participation in the annual Commute Smart Challenge, which brings visibility to sustainable transportation models by encouraging her colleagues to log their commuter trips every May, while providing encouragement and motivation to consider ways to carpool, bike, walk, or telecommute when possible, leading UNH Library to increase participation since 2020, and also other units across campus as well. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. Now, because well-being for all people is a key element of sustainability, Eliminating poverty and food insecurity across the state of New Hampshire is a key priority, and it's aligned with UNH's public service mission. Since 2020, Amy Holler and the Nutrition Connections team have reached thousands across the state annually with educational programming, policy and system changes, and social marketing interventions to significantly support the health and well-being of low-income New Hampshire families and communities. Nutrition Connections previously implemented the New Hampshire SNAP Ed program for 30 years, a federal nutrition program that supported individuals across their lifespan within their communities by combining education with public health strategies that make healthy choices easier for all. Thank you. Also, accepting the award for the New Hampshire Small Business Development Center is Julie Glosner, SBDC Southern Regional Director, and Andrea O'Brien, who's the Director of Business Sustainability Programs and Business Advisor. The Small Business Development Center's work helps even the playing field for small businesses and helps ensure New Hampshire has a thriving small business economy. They provide no-cost confidential advising and often additional resources so businesses can launch, grow, and thrive, providing a vibrant New Hampshire economy for all. I am also honored to have the opportunity to present the Lifetime Achievement Award for staff. This year, that goes to Michael Ruthier. Since 2012, Dr. Michael Ruthier has used remote sensors to monitor water levels, salinity, and temperature to determine how flooding and extreme weather are affecting the structural integrity of the historic buildings that are part of the Strawberry Bank Museum in order to provide data to mitigate and adapt to climate change, specifically at the museum, with broader impacts to the entire New Hampshire Seacoast region. During his 30-plus years career at UNH, Dr. Ruthier has focused on the sustainable uses of our natural resources, humans living in balance with their environments, and the education of our next generation of researchers, environmental managers, and conservationists with the use of geospatial technologies. His research spans from local to international in nature, with many of his projects focusing on providing data and results for use in policymaking that can support sustainability, conservation, restoration, and environmental justice efforts. Congratulations, Michael. Thank you all for all your contributions, and now is the time where you can all please join me in a huge round of applause to congratulate the staff. All right, group photo. Do you want 2 rows, Kathy? Okay. Got it? Amazing. All right, and now it's my pleasure to hand over to my colleagues, Dr. DeVev Levine, Assistant Dean for Graduate Student Affairs and Assistant Vice Provost for Outreach and Engagement, to present the student awards. DeVev.
Thanks very much, Jen. And I'd like to give a huge thanks to my fellow committee members for your great work in selecting this year's awardees. Again, awardees, please join me on stage as I read your name to receive your award, and please remain on stage for our group photo. We will start with our Student Organization of the Year. The UNH Butterfly Garden Club aims to promote and educate others on the importance of New Hampshire native pollinators and plant species through interactive, hands-on events, use of their own plot of land, and through collaborations with other campus departments and organizations for the entire UNH community. Congratulations to the leaders and members of this club. Next, I'll announce the winners for Student Campus Culture, Operations, and Engagement. First off, Taylor Berry started her role as a changemaker early and keeps leading the way. She built on her commitment to advocacy in high school by becoming a UNH Changemaker Fellow as a first-year student at UNH, volunteering on campus to encourage students to vote, and by participating in climate initiatives throughout New Hampshire. Next, as a PhD student working with the Carsey School's New Hampshire Listens program, Joe Field has played a pivotal role in New Hampshire's comprehensive climate action plan. In particular, Joe helped design and facilitate public stakeholder engagement activities in collaboration with the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services to support this exceptionally important project. Next, originally started by students back in 2011, UNH's Trash to Treasure program remains student-powered. Each year, Trash to Treasure helps UNH save thousands of dollars on waste costs, keeps thousands of pounds of landfills and allows pounds out of landfills, and allows UNH students to buy needed items for their dorms at highly reduced costs. Trash to Treasure only works because of dedicated volunteers, and Gracie Solomon has been that with the Trash to Treasure program, making time between her multiple summer jobs to help clean, sort, organize, and process student donated items, which are offered to the UNH community at affordable prices at the annual fall sale. Thanks very much, Gracie, for being a great role model for all changemakers. Finally, it was obvious that Jordan Wright was going to make change from the minute that she arrived on campus here. Jordan has taken full advantage of many experiential learning opportunities in sustainability. As a student at Lead UNH 2025, an immersive student leadership program, Jordan helped to enrich her group mates' understanding of the intersections between inclusive leadership and sustainable practices, encouraging them to expand their leadership journey and get involved with UNH sustainability efforts. Now, please join me in a huge round of applause to congratulate all of our outstanding student award recipients for 2025. All right, thanks so much for being here. Great work. Congratulations to all of you. And we very much look forward to the amazing work that you're all going to do going forward for our society. And now it's my pleasure to turn it back to Dr. Fiona Wilson. Thank you.
Wow, what a great, amazing group of students and colleagues that we all get to work with every day. You know, there's a saying that is, it takes a village. And I think when we think about sustainable development and the challenges ahead of us, there's nothing more true than that saying. But I said at the beginning that I'm inspired every day by the work that my colleagues here at UNH are doing. And so I want you just to honor them one more time, a big collective round of applause for all of our faculty, staff, and student awardees. And now we're going to honor some of our amazing alumni of UNH. So again, we had a selection committee, and so my sincere thanks to those people who served on the Alumni Award Selection Committee. We're really excited we added the Alumni Awards just about a year ago, and we're really excited to do that because we know that there are literally hundreds of alumni from across 4 or 5 decades now that are really embedding sustainability leadership into both their careers and their civic and personal lives. And these alumni are really a valuable part of UNH's sustainability community, and so we're really thrilled to welcome back to campus 9 exemplary leaders today. We're going to be awarding 6 awards in the category of alumni who graduated in the last decade, so they're the people who are still pretty young, but are doing amazing work in their careers nonetheless. So first, I'm going to recognize people who graduated from an undergraduate program here at UNH. The first one is Andy DeMeo. After graduating from UNH with a degree in environmental conservation and sustainability, Andy launched and ran a sustainable beekeeping business with his wife. He also worked for a national nonprofit who was helping to accelerate the role that universities play in addressing the climate crisis. He also worked in the for-profit sector with one of the largest sustainable investment management companies. But today, Andy is doing something a little bit different. that we all love. He is the creator and host of Granite Goodness, a new newsletter and podcast. He never misses an opportunity to promote it. That is taking the state by storm. If you haven't heard it, download a podcast tonight and be inspired. I think Granite Goodness, and the committee really felt this, that Granite Goodness is just what the world needs right now. It shares optimistic stories of progress, innovation, and problem solving right here in the Granite State. So we are going to give him a round of applause because he's doing amazing work. Next up is Mikey Pisciuto, who graduated with a degree from UNH in mechanical engineering and a dual major in sustainability. Today, Mikey is the Chief Sustainability Officer at a company called Scrap. It is a startup developed actually during his time here at UNH with several other students. And they are really dedicated to creating data-driven sustainable waste programs. So through Scrap, Mikey is really helping lead a revolution that is making products and packaging much more recyclable. Mikey, thanks so much for all that you're doing. And then also Rachel Ramazuski. Rachel is now the Senior Mission-Aligned Investment Research Analyst. She joined Prime Buchholz in 2019, immediately after graduating from UNH, with a degree in environmental conservation, I might add, and has more than 5 years of experience in the investment industry. In her current role, Rachel oversees and contributes to mission-aligned investing across Prime Buchholz's business. They are a private investment advisory firm. Rachel also serves as the chair of the Green Team at Prime Buchholz, helping guide the firm's environmental stewardship efforts. Unfortunately, Rachel can't be with us today because she's out on the West Coast attending a sustainable investment conference, but we're really thrilled that her colleague, Adam Leach from Prime Buchholz, who's also a proud UNH parent, is going to come up and accept the award on Rachel's behalf. So a round of applause for Rachel and for Adam. Now I'm going to honor 3 alumni who earned graduate degrees from UNH in the last decade. Tori Brooks's desire to apply a sustainability lens to her technical work as a civil engineer was sparked while she was leading a water project in Peru. She began her career as a structural engineer and sustainability coordinator on building projects, developing expertise in green building, greenhouse gas reporting, and sustainable construction materials. She later worked for the US Environmental Protection Agency, and in 2024 was selected as a State Department Embassy Science Fellow. More recently, she has returned to the private sector as the Senior Sustainability Manager at Pembroke, where she applies a triple bottom line approach to chart an ambitious path to net zero for a diverse global portfolio of buildings. Congratulations, Tori, and welcome back. The next one's a special one, especially a special one for me, because I'm not only honoring an alum, but a former colleague. Alison, or Allie as we like to call her, Leach, is the Corporate Standards Associate for the Greenhouse Gas Protocol at the World Resources Institute. What that really means is that she's literally writing the guidance that supports organizations all over the world in measuring and reporting their greenhouse gas emissions in a rigorous way. Prior to joining WRI, Allie's career started right here at UNH. She completed her PhD under the guidance of UNH Sustainability Champion Extraordinaire, Dr. John Aber. John is somewhere here, also former provost. Allie was a developer of UNH's SciMap program. It's a campus carbon footprint tool that's hosted by the UNH Sustainability Institute, and she has led the research and development and user support for SciMap for many years. Also helped create 2 exciting experiential learning programs based on that work. Allie, it's lovely to have you back on campus. Welcome home. While attending UNH, Cassidy Yates obtained her bachelor's in environmental engineering with a dual major in sustainability, as well as a master's degree, and participated in a variety of the Sustainability Institute's programs. Today, Cassidy is a climate resiliency and sustainability engineer at Weston and Sampson, based in Boston, working as a consultant to municipalities and state agencies across New England to really accelerate climate adaptation and mitigation. Please join me in a huge round of applause for Cassidy and to all of our graduates of the last decade. All right. We are also absolutely delighted today to recognize 3 awardees in the category of Alumni Lifetime Achievement. So what that really means is they've been out a while, right? They've had a few decades under their belt, but not the end of their career. So you're going to hear a little bit more about their journeys in a short panel we have coming up next. So I'm just going to introduce their really impressive careers with just a couple of highlights each. First, we are honoring Eric Gibbs, Senior Vice President for Global Strategy at the Clean Energy Buyers Association. Eric has spent his career dedicated to sustainable international development and clean energy because he firmly believes there is no progress without addressing the climate crisis. Earlier in his career, he managed the development of rural energy access projects and electric cooperative distribution in villages around the world with the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association. And today, Eric is the Senior Vice President, as I said, at the Clean Energy Buyers Association. It's a business trade association comprised of over 400 members, which combined have over $30 trillion in market capitalization and represent the largest clean energy buyers in the world. Eric, congratulations. Some of you who were with us a little earlier today have already heard from Dr. Jennifer C. Jenkins, who is the Chief Science Officer at Rubicon Carbon. She is another one of the brilliant scientists that Dr. John Aber helped inspire and mentor here at UNH. John, congratulations. You got 2 of the awards this year. Pretty impressive. John completed her PhD in ecosystem science at UNH, and she has used her education for great impact, with over 30 years of influential roles helping address the climate crisis across academia, government, and the private sector. She is a recognized authority in carbon cycling and ecosystem science and was a co-recipient of the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize, part of the IPCC team, along with Vice President Al Gore. She's also the lead author of the Jenkins equation, named after herself, and it is the widely accepted method for estimating tree biomass. So Jen, congratulations on all that you are contributing. And last but no means least, the awards selection committee were really inspired and impressed by Jennifer Moore's dedication to impact at the local level. Jennifer, or as she prefers, Jam, is the founder and co-creator of Project Upcycle. It's an annual sustainable fashion competition in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that challenges emerging designers to rethink fashion using thrifted, surplus, and dead stock materials. The event has grown into a sold-out red carpet weekend that's helping build real momentum for the regional sustainable design movement. Jam also leads Port Swap, a grassroots clothing swap that has been building community through fashion reuse for nearly 15 years. In 2025, it welcomed 1,000 people and is now an official City of Portsmouth program. Jam, thanks for all you're doing to keep this region sustainable. right, so just give us a couple of minutes, stay on stage. We're gonna bring you through. So it's always such a pleasure to have distinguished alumni back on campus. And so while they are here, we wanted to have them share some words of wisdom with you all. So we just got a couple of quick questions that we wanted to ask you all. So first of all, in just a few words, when you think about this idea of creating a sustainable future, what does that collectively require us to do? What does that mean to you? Eric, do you want to go first?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much. What an honor. I'm truly humbled. It's great to be back here at home at UNH in the MUB, where I used to work and spend a lot of time as a student. So wonderful to be back. For me, it means engagement and engaging not only at a personal level, but using your agency, not only in decisions that you make every day, but also how you engage with your community, whether that's your local community or even at a higher level. And so to me, it's the concept of having agency and using your agency, because we all have it. And unfortunately, I think sometimes there's a sense that I don't have agency or I can't. This is a really tricky problem, and it's not going to matter, but it really does, because if you are working in concert and in collaboration with others, it's quite remarkable some of the things that you can accomplish together.
Thank you. Jen?
Yeah, can you hear me? I never know if like the microphone is working. Okay, thank you for the thumbs up. I love that. Fiona, I was prepared to answer 3 questions, and I want to just make sure that this is the first of the 3 questions, because if it's not, then I need to use my answer number 2 because I really cared about that one. Okay, is this the first of the 3?
You go,
is this?
girl.
Okay, I'm going to have 3 chances?
You go,
okay,
girl.
Perfect. All right. So in that case, your question, I'm going to restate your question. I'm going to answer my own question. It was sort of like, your question was sort of, what does sustainability look like to you, right? I think that's kind of how I interpret it. Those are my words. Okay. So I'm going to answer the question, what does sustainability look like to me? And thank you again. I echo Eric's thanks for being here. It's really an honor. Really appreciate that. And I'm humbled. When I think about what a sustainable world looks like, I have a vision in my head. It's a very visual thing. It's infrastructure. It is green. There are the vision that it's sort of the North Star is birds. Stay with me here. Birds chirping, sort of green infrastructure. There's grass, there are trees. It's a city, but things are quiet. There's no smog. The air is clean. There are windmills and solar panels everywhere, which I believe are beautiful because they're allowing us to provide the energy and the resources that we as humans need and desire in a sustainable and approachable way. So that's the vision. And I even I'll throw in some water. There's like a river. So imagine it. That's the vision, right? In 2050, that's what we should be all aiming for.
I love that. Thank you, Jen. Jam.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can. I focused on a word. I like your word, Eric, engagement. That's close to a lot of the work that I do. But when I thought about it last night, because I've been busy with the event on Saturday, sort of did my homework last night. The word that I kept coming back to was fairness, because I feel like that was what got me out of my chair. learning about what fashion was doing to the environment and to people made me really sad and emotional, and something that I love was causing harm, and I just felt like I needed to do something. And just me in a small community, I still felt like I've got to do something. So to me, it's all about fairness to other people and the environment.
Beautiful. Thank you all. When we think about those futures, I love, Jen, the very visual picture you painted for us of the future in 2050. What kinds of skills and characteristics does sustainability leadership to get us there? What kinds of skills and characteristics do we need? Jen, do you want to go first? Yeah.
I thought about this too last night, and I think I'm late to figuring this out. I'm almost 60, but I've started to see everything in terms of people who want to control and people who want to nurture. There's a lot of that on display. But I also I learned a lot of lessons as a parent of someone who's on the spectrum, and I didn't understand it until too late. We have a great relationship now, but there was a lot I wasn't getting, including around like food sensitivities. And I'm explaining this to you because I wouldn't think of myself as a controlling person. But then when I look back at how I was managing this uncertainty, I was trying to control. So now it's made it so much clearer when I see leadership that is not doing that and really working to nurture. And it's such a hard thing to do. I admire people who can do it. I don't think I have that skill myself. Maybe I do. Some with Project Upcycle, maybe I do. But that's the thing I think is really great in leadership, that nurturing and not about control.
Yeah, so well said. Jen?
Yeah, I think you probably do.
I think she definitely does.
Well, it seems pretty clear. So I'm going to give a shout out here to my UNH education. And one of the first things, and forgive me, John, I'm going to call you out. One of the first things that John Aber taught me, out of so many things, was the importance of being able to synthesize a lot of information, a lot of diverse, disparate information, and being able to sort of hold it all in your head and put it together in a way that could solve a problem and make sense. And we learned that sort of in a context of like ecosystem modeling, but it is so important for every aspect of environmental problem solving, because there are numerous and diverse interests and stakeholders, and you kind of have to be able to hold all of those competing notions in your head at the same time and be able to sort of filter through them and decide, how are you going to solve this problem with so many. It's like a multifaceted sort of optimization problem. And it's, that's what I love about environmental work. That's what I love about sustainability, is the complexity, because it's, every day is different. But I think to be a successful leader in sustainability, you do need to be able to step away. You need to get out to 10,000, 30,000, 50,000 feet and just see the whole contours of the whole problem.
Be sort of a systems thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric?
Another shout out for UNH education. I had a professor here at UNH, John Kaiser, who passed a few years ago, and John Kaiser demanded of his students that we read, that we think, that we analyze, that we synthesize, that we write, and we communicate. And he was unsparing, if you knew who John Kaiser was. And I really benefited from that. And I think I use those skills every day. So I'm here to defend liberal arts because I was a political science major here at UNH, and somehow I ended up, I've spent my entire career working in the international energy arena, working with fantastically talented engineers and analysts, and it's really those skills that I first started developing here, that I use every day. I would say communication skills. So using your communication skills and actually building relationships. It sounds so simple, and yet I think it's often overlooked. And those relationship development skills are fundamental, whether you're talking about business clients, your colleagues, your funders, across the spectrum, whether you're working in an NGO, you're working in a Fortune 500 corporation at a university. So building those relationships. I would also say that older I've gotten, this is the Lifetime Achievement Award, that I realize how much I don't know, and that most of the time when I'm in a room, I actually know less sometimes than everyone else who's in the room. And my job is not to know more than other people, it's actually to figure out how to maximize that knowledge and that experience of everyone else in the room. And if I can do that, wow, we're really gonna do something impressive. So it's about humility and recognizing that you don't really know very much, and that even your younger colleagues know way more than you do about the technical matters and so forth. But how are you going to harness that? How are you actually going to coach and mentor and guide people so that you can maximize their potential?
Great advice, Eric. So my last question for you all is, obviously, there's tough news every day, and the challenges of sustainability that we've been discussing can often feel insurmountable. What reasons, and I particularly would love you to direct this to students in the room, but what reasons should we all have for hope and optimism, and sort of what keeps you going as sustainability leaders? Why don't we start with you, Jen?
You should be hopeful because we have no choice but to solve this problem. I guess I have great faith in human ingenuity and human commitment and human goodness. And I think ultimately, I do believe that goodness will prevail. I think it has to. I think that's just sort of who we are as a people, as a society. So we're going to get there, right, with the help of everyone in this room.
And many others. Yeah, absolutely. Jam.
I thought about this last night, and I think that when you're doing anything, any kind of work, and it feels like you're not making any motion, which I definitely have felt myself, I was encouraged to give a TED Talk, and through the coaches, they said you should give a talk on choosing secondhand clothing first. And I was like, why do I have to tell people that? They already know that. And then they said, you have to because they don't know. And so I did it. And even though I didn't believe it. And then a year later, I met a man on the street who shook my hand and said, you changed the way that I buy clothing. So I just want to say, you won't even know the impact that you're having, and just keep doing the work. Anyway.
It's a beautiful story. Eric, we're going to give the closing words to you.
Well, I don't do doomerism. I don't do gloom and doom. I'm an optimist. Again, I believe we all have agency, and it's just a question of how we're going to apply that, right? And despite, the fact that, we are experiencing the effects of climate change in sometimes dramatic and in terrible ways, we've made an incredible amount of progress, okay? When I started my career in the energy sector, the United States power mix was 52% coal, and now that's down to about 10%. the amount of renewable energy that we have developed and deployed in the United States over the past 10 years is staggering. However, when you see what China is doing and how much China is deploying, that is truly incredible. And so I've actually been able to see in the course of my career, when I started my career, like clean energy was, I don't know, something that hippies did or something. I'm not even sure. It was all fossil fuel, everything. And I've actually lived long enough, and I've seen the change now where renewable energy is now the go-to. The amount of renewable energy that's being developed dwarfs fossil fuel energy everywhere. So be really careful about what you hear and the information that you're taking in, because the amount of progress that we have made just in the past decade, and this is not a capital problem. We have trillions of dollars that we can deploy anywhere, and it's not a technology problem. We have the technology and we can deploy it at scale, and that's happening, and that to me is super exciting. That doesn't mean that climate change isn't real and we're not dealing with the consequences, but think about this. 15 years ago, we were looking at a 4 to 5 centigrade increase in the Earth's temperature. Absolutely catastrophic planetary collapse. And there are no models that show that now. That's real progress. And I sit on the side of optimism and action. And I refuse to sit on the side of doomerism.
Hear, hear. Thank you, each of you, the two Jennifers, Eric. Thank you for a really wonderful and thought-provoking conversation. Our sincere congratulations, of course, on your Sustainability Awards, and mostly thank you all that you do to contribute to a more sustainable and equitable future. So please join me once more in just a rousing round of applause for our alumni recipients. Thank you. And now, to end our program in fitting style, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce and welcome to the stage UNH President Elizabeth S. Chilton, who became the 21st President of the University of New Hampshire. That's next, Elizabeth, of UNH in July of 2024. A first-generation college graduate and an accomplished archaeologist, she has built a distinguished career as a scholar and leader at institutions including Harvard, UMass Amherst, Binghamton University, and Washington State. She is passionate about expanding access to education, fostering innovation, and deepening connections between UNH and the communities that we serve. I'm also really grateful to President Chilton, who's been an ardent champion of sustainability throughout her career and of sustainability here at UNH since she joined as our president. Please welcome me in joining President Chilton to the stage.
Well, for good reason. I'm glad that that bio was not longer. But one thing I did want to mention is that my most recent journal article that I published was in Nature Sustainability. Just FYI, in case this topic is certainly near and dear to my heart. As an archaeologist, my most recent research was looking at Native American land use prior to European contact, to try to take some lessons for how we're managing conservation lands in the present. And so I was sitting here listening to all these amazing stories of our award winners, and I was thinking back to 1970, the first Earth Day, and I was in grade school, and they had us all go plant trees in front of the high school. And I remember being very confused as to what exactly this was going to accomplish. and came back a few years later when I actually went to that high school, and the trees were all gone. And I thought, well, how did this actually help the environment? But, it did get us thinking at a very early age about the impact that even small grade school children could have and the agency that we have. I really appreciated the panel that we just heard from. So first and foremost, congratulations to all of our award winners, our faculty, our staff, our students, our alumni, really inspiring stories. Thank you, Fiona, and all of the award committee members. There was quite a long list of folks who took the time to look at all of these winners, but also the nominees that we didn't get to congratulate today. Congratulations to all of the nominees as well as the Sustainability Institute staff and the board and everyone that has been responsible for putting on this wonderful event. The stories that we heard today are incredibly inspiring and really demonstrate the creativity, the care, and the commitment of our students, faculty, staff, and alumni. I wanted to highlight UNH's commitment to sustainability truly runs deep. It's one thing to read about a Platinum Stars rating, which is amazing, one of 9 in the country, or read about other kinds of national recognition. Princeton's Green List, number 25, by the way, I just read that today. So it's one thing to read about those things, but it's another thing to see how that commitment shows up in the daily work of people across the institution. Our leadership and sustainability is well established and truly sets us apart on a national and international stage. Sustainability also figures prominently and is threaded throughout the newly launched strategic plan, One UNH, the Roadmap to 2030. It's a lens that will shape how we think, teach, operate, and engage with our communities and the state. As today's award winners remind us, sustainability at UNH can be found everywhere we look. As the world faces rapid environmental, social, and economic change, universities like ours have a unique role to play in preparing students to lead, advancing interdisciplinary research, partnering with communities and industry to create solutions that last. And UNH is doing all of these things with a mindset grounded in sustainability. And with our strategic plan as a guide, it will continue to shape how we imagine and meet our future. In closing, I hope that today we can carry the energy and inspiration that we've heard today as a reminder that the progress we celebrate is part of something larger. And from what I've seen today and heard, it really captures the best of our community, our shared purpose, and our commitment to doing this work together. So now I hope you will join us in some light refreshments to celebrate our award winners. I think it's back there in the left part of the auditorium. So thank you all for being here, and please do stay and thank our award winners.